Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Muslims for Progressive Values. My name is Kendra Cordova, and today is a really exciting video because I'm going to be doing an interview with the founder, president of Muslims for Progressive Values, Ani Zonneveld. She's also a recently new author, and she also works in music and all sorts of creative things. So we're going to talk about her most recent project, which is the book that just came out recently. Hey, Ani, how are you?
Good, thank you. Thanks, Kendra, for inviting me to speak with you today.
Of course. So, tell us about your book. What gave you the idea for this book? What does it focus on? What's it called?
Right. It's called The Unlikely Social Justice Warrior, and the subtitle is Making My Life Count as a Muslim Feminist. And many people over the years have been telling me I need to write a book because of my various experiences working in music and the religious spaces and human rights, the intersectionality of it, of human rights and faith. And then I called it, I had the word warrior in there because I was going through title ideas, and then I wanted to use one of my brother's painting. And there was a painting that my oldest brother did about me, of me, and for me. And he called it The Warrior. And it's basically the image of a woman, and she has a knife, a kris, which is a very spiritual a wavy knife, that we use in my tradition, my Malay culture, and it's very spiritual. And so he was someone that saw me in a certain way, and he passed away almost 2 years now, and that's so I wanted that word warrior really popped up out of the pages for me, and so I knew I had to incorporate it into the title somehow. So yeah.
I love that so much. So sorry for your loss, but that's like a really powerful thing to include in such a powerful book. So, does this book, is this sort of like an autobiography, or is this just teaching us about these different parts of your life and what you've learned? Like, yeah, what's the content really about here?
Yeah, it's both. It's really anchoring what I do with a particular point in my upbringing. So, as an example, here in California, some years ago, we partnered with Hindus for Human Rights, and how we wanted to include caste as a discriminatory category in our discrimination law in the state of California. And for me, what was going on was that in the industry, the Dalits, the untouchables, were being discriminated by those in the tech bros, and by the higher castes of Indians and Hindus. So, and that for me really resonated. I'm Muslim, and this doesn't impact me. I'm not in any caste, but I really felt that it was important for me to really, well, show up for somebody else's rights. And this was really connected with my experience when I was living in India, when I was about, I would say, as a teenager, 12 to 15 years old. So I would do soccer drills with the gardener's son, and they were Dalits. And so my mother would call me one day and say, "Hey, some of the servants and folks are whispering that it's not appropriate for the ambassador's daughter to be playing soccer with a Dalit son." And I'm like, and so I don't care. And my mom said, "No, I'm just sharing it with you just so you know what society is like. I'm not telling you to, you carry on with what you do." So I connected that, and there were so other stories, right? So in regards to the Dalit issues, so I just wanted to connect what I do and why I stand up for some things, and how that is directly linked to the way I was raised.
Okay, I love that. I love that you also started noticing that the world was like that from such a young age, because a lot of times it takes, years or decades for people to notice these things, but you've always been very sensitive to it. So you've been
Yeah,
doing this
or
your whole
or
life.
yeah, or you think that you only get sensitive to human rights issues when it's your rights, right? But I was raised in privilege, and privilege on so many layers, and for me this one particular privilege is that my parents, my dad was a diplomat, so I lived abroad and experienced a lot of things that no textbook would be able to teach you the nuances of life and language and cultures. But I was also privileged because my parents never uttered anything discriminating about any group of people. Even with people they didn't agree with, they never said it. And so I was raised not hearing any hate in my life until I came to America.
Wow. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good. That gives you a lot of strong foundations. And I'm sure there are a lot of stories like that in this book, right? Like throughout your whole
Correct.
life. Okay. So
Yeah,
this isn't just
lots.
about, Islam, this is about everybody. This is about,
Yeah,
standing up for social justice across
yeah.
the board. I love that.
Correct. Yeah.
It does say feminism there. So how much of this book focuses on feminism and gender equality, and what does that mean for you in that context?
Yeah, I had to explain in the forward what even the word using the word feminist, because it's such a trigger word for some folks, and how I had to assert the my meaning of feminism, and that is to lift everyone up. That's like the true meaning of feminists. And so and that theme is a real constant theme throughout the book, whether it's about women's rights, LGBT rights, or anybody's rights. I felt that that's the true meaning of being a feminist. I just so happen to be Muslim, and obviously I anchor a lot of my work on the egalitarian and the human rights affirming language of Islam. So it is very intersectional.
I love that so much. Okay, great. How long is this book? Is this like a textbook size or is this a
Yeah,
smaller?
it's 200 of a maximum 200 pages. Yeah. And I also, and because it's really targeted for university as a coursework for professors and, for them to use it as a supplementary reading for their classes, I also actually have a section where it's got learning objectives and then some 5 exercises that you do at the end of the book. So, like I'll prompt readers like, okay, look into this, read into that, and then give me your thoughts on, well, this is what a professor would say, like tell us how you should reorganize this event or this organization, just to get the students more involved in the reading.
Okay, so that definitely adds another layer for the readers then, because it's not just a memoir, right?
Yeah,
It's here with life lessons, how you can better understand the world and how you can even implement it, right?
correct.
So yeah, that is
It's got a
amazing.
purpose for sure.
I
Yeah.
love that. So what kind of topics should your readers be interested in when they come to this? So feminism, of course. What else?
I think when it comes to law, in the in the American context, the separation of religion and state, so how religion has played a very negative role in how laws are being interpreted here in the United States, and how a particular version of Christianity is being interpreted, and I equate that to being no different than Sharia law, how men, as in the male species, interpret the religion from their particular prism. And then in our case, it's being legislated into law. And so this is kind of very problematic, and it's unconstitutional and all that. So there's some elements of law as well. And in one particular chapter, when I talk about LGBTQ rights and how religion has been used in such a negative way to discriminate against LGBT people, and then I think it would be an interesting reading for anyone who's interested in thinking out of the box and how do I challenge patriarchy in my community, in my particular society. And so when, for example, there's a chapter on interfaith marriages, and so I talk about how we've gone about it, and how I've structured the interfaith marriages where there's no conversion, also same-sex marriage, and so creating that alternative to the patriarchy that says no, marriage is X, Y, and Z. And I mean, it used to be like marriage is basically where women was or is a property of the father and being transferred to the property of the husband, right? I mean, so there, that is one patriarchal, intensely patriarchal structure and belief system of what marriage is, and that's coming, like, having resurgence, actually, particularly in the conservative Christian side of things. And so how to create that alternative thinking and system and belief system in the context of marriage and equality. So yeah, so I offer different ways, and I get into the weeds as far as some of the challenges and some of the good outcomes of my activities, so that you can really actually feel it, and you can feel the emotion, you can feel the angst and the challenges, obviously. But I also give ideas on how to think strategically about what you want to achieve by giving my example.
I love it. This book is just so practical and interactive, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So it's information, it's personal and emotional, and then it also has like the and now what do we do next part, right?
correct, correct.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. I love it.
Yeah, and I
Um,
tell and I talk about all these issues from the framework of a story. So there's lots of stories. So it's not like me saying, okay, this is how I do it. Da, da, da. No, it's like here's the storyline, and these are and how these stories connect to that, to the global, to the local, and vice versa. And so that hopefully whoever's reading it, especially the youth nowadays, they will have a longer term vision about how to impact change and how to how to change society for the better. Anger is good, but anger needs to be used in a very productive and constructive manner, not in a negative and destructive manner. That's the thing that I want people to take away from.
I love that. I've got like two more questions here. Wrapping up on this book specifically, I'm going to put a link to it, of course, here in the video, down in the description. But if someone just sees this in a clip and they want to Google it, where can they find your book?
They can find it on Barnes and Noble, and I would prefer people go to the publisher's website themselves. And I ask people to really make the effort of supporting independent bookstores and publishers, and not go to the big corporate corporations, and you know who I'm talking about. So please support independent establishments, please, pretty please.
Wonderful. So just go out and tell your local bookseller that you want this book. All right.
Yep.
And since we're closing out, you just finished this big project. I'll talk about our own publishing new seed that has been planted here in a minute. But are you having any more books coming out soon? Do you have ideas for another creative project like that? Or maybe your music? Are you going to get more into that creative side, maybe?
Well, as far as creative right now, I'm working on a music theater. So that's the most immediate that I'm working on simultaneously right now as we speak. I should, so we're hoping to have it produced by the end of Ramadan next time around, because it's a theater celebration of Ramadan. And
Wow.
so,
Okay.
because we don't have anything that is celebrative, everything that we have is so boring. So we need to be able to do something that's fun and musical, and that also connects with our spirituality, and that also allows for our non-Muslim families and friends to come and participate and celebrate with us, because we don't have anything like that. So it's a way for us, and for me, I've been having this idea for a very long time, for some years now, and I just feel that that's something that's really lacking as us as American Muslims, especially for us that are immigrants here. I mean, everything that we have is from wherever we come from, whether it be Malaysian, Arab, Turkey, whatever, and it is from within our own native language. So it's not in English, and it's not transferable. Some of those experiences. So yeah, we're creating a new American Muslim cultural tradition. So I'm very excited about that. There will be a second book, but it's still far off in the horizon. There's too much going on between us. So yeah.
Well, that sounds so exciting. I can't wait to see parts of that. We'll definitely have to share some here on the channel
Yeah,
next Ramadan. So,
absolutely.
final closeout here, guys. I do want to point out that speaking of books, Muslims for Progressive Values now has their own publishing imprint. So, MPV Publishing, you can find the link on the website. I'm going to put some links below here in the description as well. We're looking for everything from fiction to nonfiction, from both Muslim, non-Muslim authors themes of progression and progressive thought and worldviews. That's going to be anything from feminism, as Ani's is, to LGBTQ characters, multicultural interfaith couples, anything like that. So if you have a book, whether that is fiction, short story, novels, memoirs, for the nonfiction section, or even poetry, go ahead and send that in, and we'll get back to you in 4 to 6 weeks to see if that's something we want to work with. Hopefully, we get a lot of your guys' stuff in, because I'm open and I am waiting. I'm so excited. So don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video, inshallah. Bye.
Right. Bye. Thank you.